Now here is nowhere. It's a quote by Neil Young, but this is a guitar plaque. And this guitar plaque I caught at a Rise Against concert this summer. And I didn't really want to catch it, but I was standing in the first or second row, and after the concert, the guitarist Zach Blair threw this plaque into the audience. And I just stood there, and it landed on my arm. And I thought, like, nobody wants it? Okay, I take it. And then I saw what's on it. Like, no here is nowhere. And this is something I want to talk about today. Because today I had a barber's appointment, and you can write in the comments how amazing my hair looks, but my mind was racing all the time. Like, the guy was cutting my hair, and I was thinking about the stuff I wanted to do today. I'm writing a book right now, I'm publishing one YouTube video a day, one TikTok a day, and also I'm finishing or building a course right now for my coaching clients. I was thinking about that course then right now, at that moment, and my hair was still a bit wet, and a drop of water ran down my ear. And I was sitting there with this barber blanket or whatever this is called, and I thought, should I now take my hand and wipe this drop away, or should I just leave it and focus on it? And I thought, damn, this is an amazing lesson right now, because my mind was racing all the time and I wasn't in the present. I was in the future. So I just focused on it, on this tickling feeling, and I focused on it getting drier and drier until it at some point vanished. And this led to thinking again, but in a good way. And this is like the reason why I do this video now. Because I hear that all the time, that people are getting so proud in this thinking stuff and overthinking. And a video just popped up here. You can click it when you're an overthinker, and you should totally watch that. But people are getting so proud of it when they are constantly in worries, or when they are constantly thinking about the past of unresolved matters or whatever. And they say something like, my mind is constantly racing. I thought about this when I was sitting there at this barber and this drop dried already. And I thought, this is interesting. Because we create so much busyness in our heads that leads to some sort of exhaustion, some sort of suffering in anticipation to be loved. Let me explain this. We pretend to be busy in our heads and overthink because we cannot do something in the physical now. And this leaves us some sort of helpless, maybe. But on the other hand, we cannot get any gratification and celebration and love and attention from it. So we need some sort of exhaustion. We need some sort of burning the energy, so we can feel this suffering and being depleted of energy, because we saw that our fathers, when they came home from work, they were overloaded with joy and gratification and celebrated because they went to work all day and they came home and it was exhausting for them. We saw that, so we probably took that strategy into our adult life. And now our minds are constantly racing. We start to think about past moments, about things that should have gone better, and about future moments where we think that we need to be prepared for that. And this brings me again to this plaque, because there's only the now. Now here means being in the nowhere, being in the physical nowhere. Time and space are illusions. And I don't want to go that deep into that because I don't want to lose you. I just want you to click on the subscribe and like button and spam something in the comments and tell me how awesome this video is, and tell all your friends about it. But let's talk about, or let's find out what the now moment is. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift of God, which is why we call it the present. You probably heard this quote before, but this one is so accurate. There is only this moment. There's only the now. We tend to lose ourselves in thinking and worrying and being anxious about past events and future situations that might not occur. And this is where the ego steps in and gets triggered. Because when we're not in the now, we're not in peace. And the ego has power over us by pulling some situations of the past in the now, or in our minds, in our thinking, where we were sad or embarrassed and we still think about all of that. Or it can build some sort of anticipation about the future which we cannot fulfill, and we get anxious. And this is just the thinking. thinking means ego. We are not in peace, in harmony with ourselves, with our body, with our surrounding. We are in our minds, and this is where all the problems start. There's a famous quote by Lao Tzu. If you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. If you're at peace, you're living in the present. It's a great one, right? Here's another one, but I have to read it because it's longer. The past has no power to stop you from being in the present now. Only your grievance about the past can do it. What is grievance? The baggage of old thought and emotion. Is that news for you? I don't think so. It's pretty obvious. We all want to live in the moment, in the present. But we can't, or something hinders us from it. But what is it? I already said it. It's the ego. It's the thinking. It's the sort of validation we crave. It's the sort of suffering and exhaustion we build up in our anticipation that we get some love and attention from our loved ones, because we getting exhausted by all that thinking about their situation, or we anticipate some sort of validation by lowering our energy to the energy of the other person who suffers now or is in pain. And when we lower our anticipation or lower our energy to match their energy, then we can get some love or attention from them. And this is something we call guilt, and I made a whole video about it, and you should totally watch it by clicking here. It's really worth it, and you will probably get triggered by it, so be prepared, and I will see you in the next one.